Imagine reaching into your pocket and pulling out a tiny copper-colored coin. It's small, lightweight, and most people barely pay attention to it. In fact, many Americans drop it into jars, leave it on counters, or walk right past it when they see it on the sidewalk. But what if that tiny coin you're holding is actually a piece of American history? What if it carries the image of one of the most powerful leaders in the story of the United States and hides secrets that most people have never noticed? Today we are diving into the fascinating story of the 1996 Lincoln Memorial Cent, a coin that millions of Americans have held in their hands. Yet very few truly understand. At first glance, it may look like just another ordinary penny. But behind this small coin lies a story of American history. Hidden design details, surprising minting secrets, and rare variations that collectors are willing to pay serious money for. And by the end of this story, you might never look at a penny the same way again. The face on this coin belongs to a man whose legacy shaped the United States forever: Abraham Lincoln. Lincoln served as the 16th President of the United States during one of the most difficult periods in American history. The nation was divided by the devastating conflict known as the American Civil War. During this time, Lincoln made one of the most important decisions in American history when he issued the Emancipation Proclamation, declaring freedom for millions of enslaved people. His leadership preserved the Union and forever changed the course of American history. Because of his enormous impact on the nation, Lincoln became one of the most respected figures in the United States. That respect eventually led to his image appearing on American currency. But here's something surprising. The Lincoln penny was actually the first U.S. coin ever to feature a real historical person. Before Lincoln appeared on coins, American currency usually displayed symbolic figures like Lady Liberty rather than actual leaders. That changed in 1909, when the United States celebrated the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. To honor him, the United States Mint introduced a brand new coin called the Lincoln Wheat Cent. The coin was designed by a talented sculptor named Victor David Brenner. On the front of the coin was Lincoln's portrait, while the back displayed 2 wheat stalks framing the words 1 cent. This design became extremely popular and remained in circulation for nearly 50 years. But in 1959, the design of the penny changed dramatically. Instead of wheat stalks, the reverse side now featured one of the most famous monuments in the United States, the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. This new design became known as the Lincoln Memorial Cent, and the artist responsible for creating that iconic design was Frank Gasparro. Gasparro's design was incredibly detailed for such a tiny coin. If you look very closely at the Lincoln Memorial on the back, you might notice something incredible. Inside the memorial is a tiny statue of Abraham Lincoln sitting in his famous chair. That means the same man appears twice on the same coin, once on the front, and again as a tiny statue inside the building on the back. It's one of the most fascinating hidden design features in U.S. coin history. Now let's fast forward to 1996. The 1996 Lincoln Memorial Cent was produced during a time when the United States was experiencing massive economic growth and technological transformation. The internet was beginning to connect the world. Personal computers were becoming common in homes and offices, and companies like Microsoft, Apple, and Intel were rapidly shaping the future of technology. Yet despite this technological revolution, billions of pennies were still being minted and used every single day. In fact, the production numbers for the 1996 penny were enormous. The Philadelphia Mint produced more than 6.6 billion pennies that year. Meanwhile, the Denver Mint struck more than 6.5 billion coins. Combined, that means over 13 billion pennies were created in 1996 alone. With numbers that large, it might seem impossible for a 1996 penny to be valuable. But this is where things get interesting. Because in the world of coin collecting, rarity is not always about how many coins were made. Sometimes, a tiny mistake at the mint can turn an ordinary coin into a collector's treasure. One of the most famous examples is something called a double die error. This happens when the coin's design is accidentally stamped twice at slightly different angles during the manufacturing process. The result is a strange visual effect where the letters or numbers appear doubled. On certain pennies, collectors have found doubling in the date, the word liberty, or the phrase "in God we trust." These error coins can become extremely valuable. Another fascinating mint error is known as an off-center strike. Normally, a coin is perfectly aligned when it is struck by the minting machine, but sometimes the metal blank is slightly misaligned. When this happens, part of the coin's design appears shifted toward one side, leaving a blank curved space on the other side. Coins with strong off-center strikes can attract serious attention from collectors. Then there's the broad strike error. In this case, the coin is struck without the collar that normally keeps it in shape during minting. This causes the coin to spread out slightly wider than normal. The design still appears on the coin, but its edges look unusual. These types of errors might seem small, but collectors love them because they represent rare moments when something unexpected happened during the minting process. Now here's another surprising fact about the 1996 penny. Even though it looks like it's made of solid copper, it actually isn't. Before 1982, US pennies were primarily made of copper, but rising copper prices forced the government to change the coin's composition. Modern pennies, including the 1996 Lincoln Memorial cent, are actually made from about 97.5% zinc with a thin copper coating. That means the shiny copper color you see on the outside is only a very thin layer. If that outer layer becomes damaged, the silver-colored zinc underneath can become visible. Many people are shocked when they learn this. It's one of the most misunderstood facts about modern pennies. Now let's talk about value. Most 1996 pennies you find in circulation are only worth 1 cent, but coins that are in exceptional condition can be worth much more. Professional coin. Grading services evaluate coins using a scale known as the Mint State Grading System. A coin graded MS65 or higher is considered to be in extremely fine condition. If a 1996 penny receives a grade of MS67 or higher, its value can jump dramatically. Some examples have sold for hundreds of dollars at auction. And if the coin also has a rare mint error, the price can climb even higher. That's why many coin collectors carefully examine their change, because sometimes the smallest coins hide the biggest surprises. Now here's one more fascinating detail about the Lincoln Memorial penny. If you use a magnifying glass and carefully study the memorial on the reverse side, you'll notice that the building has tiny columns and architectural details. For such a small coin, the level of detail is remarkable. It's a tiny work of art that millions of people carry in their pockets without ever noticing. But the story of the penny also raises an interesting question. Does the penny still have a future? For many years, economists have debated whether the United States should stop producing pennies altogether. The reason is simple. It actually costs the government more than 1 cent to manufacture each penny. Some estimates show that producing a single penny can cost over 2 cents. Because of this, some countries have already eliminated their lowest value coins. But in the United States, the penny continues to survive. Part of the reason is tradition. The penny has been part of American life for more than a century. Expressions like "a penny for your thoughts" and the belief in the lucky penny are deeply rooted in American culture. Many people believe that finding a penny on the ground, especially with Lincoln's head facing up, brings good luck. Because of these traditions, the penny remains one of the most recognizable coins in the world. And the 1996 Lincoln Memorial cent is a perfect example of how even the smallest piece of money can carry a huge story. It represents American history. It honors one of the nation's greatest leaders. It showcases intricate artistic design. And in rare cases, it can even become a valuable collectible. So the next time you see a penny lying on the ground, don't ignore it. Pick it up. Take a closer look. Check the date. Because that small coin might not just be spare change.